My cheating wife proposed an open marriage for 2 weeks. She regretted what I did. The weekend began like any other typical Saturday. I woke up slightly later than usual and leaned over to kiss my wife of 17 years good morning. She murmured sleepily, expressing her frustration with the lack of peace she gets both at night and in the morning, and mentioned that the girls were probably already awake. Chuckling, I agreed that they were old enough to take care of themselves and wouldn't disturb us. I climbed out of bed, put on my robe, and headed for the shower. On the way, I heard some noise coming from Emily's room. It sounded like Sophia was attempting to wake her. I decided to let them handle it. After getting ready, I dressed and walked to the kitchen. My daughters were already seated at the table, looking impatient. Emily reminded me that they still needed breakfast, despite thinking they had school. I reminded her they were on New Year's vacation and mentioned that they would be going to Grandma S. Emily was confused, pointing out that it was a long weekend and I was also on vacation, something Anna had planned. I suggested they make their own breakfast. Sophia mentioned that their mother wouldn't let them cook because she feared they'd ruin the pans and burn everything, allowing them only to make scrambled eggs. I proposed oatmeal or semolina porridge as alternatives, which Emily eagerly agreed to. I smiled and teased her about saving the oats for the horses, instructing them to wash up as I prepared breakfast. I swiftly made breakfast for my daughters. Meanwhile, Anna emerged from the bedroom and headed to the bathroom. The girls sat down to eat, and Anna soon returned, her hair neatly combed. Despite everything, her beauty always captivated me, even if everyone had different standards for beauty. I loved her, but there was an undeniable tension between us. Anna instructed the girls to finish their meal and get ready, as I would be taking them to their grandmother S. Emily protested, reminding her mother of the promised trip to the ski resort for a week, expressing their excitement and preparation for New Year's Eve celebrations. Anna explained that plans always work out and suggested they might visit the ski resort during spring break or perhaps Palmer, where there is year-round snow in the mountains. Sending the kids to my mother-in-law S was not something I was excited about, especially after Anna S. misleading information about our trip. The growing distance between us seemed to coincide with the arrival of John, the new commercial director at Anna S. workplace. Although Anna knew John from college, she had never mentioned him to me. I was worried but hoped for her faithfulness. Confronting John seemed like it would only create more tension with Anna, so I decided against it, opting instead to keep a close eye on her. As far as I knew, nothing serious had transpired between them, only light flirting. Anna's decision to send the kids to her parents today indicated that something significant was planned for the New Year's weekend. Prepared for this conversation, I had set up a recorder to capture it. My primary concern was safeguarding my daughters. Thanks to a tip from Laura, I was aware that a difficult conversation was imminent. Anna had no clue that I had turned on the recorder in the bathroom and hidden it in my pocket before rejoining her in the kitchen. Anna was quiet for a moment, then looked at me with a fleeting smile that quickly vanished, and she addressed me seriously. The gravity of her tone made it clear that this was not going to be a pleasant discussion. I tried to remain composed, bracing myself for what was to come. I asked if something was wrong. Anna replied that everything was fine and reassured me of her love, saying she had cherished our years together. She told me I had been an incredible husband and father, and she envisioned us growing old together, perhaps even dying on the same day. Curious, I asked what was holding us back. Anna then explained she had been reflecting a lot and believed we needed a temporary break from our marriage. She suggested that by exploring our own paths and experiences separately, we could gain a broader perspective and ultimately strengthen our relationship when we reconvened. When I asked how long this break would last, a month, a year, she replied, just a 2-day holiday weekend. Suspicious, I asked if that was why the kids were going to her mom S instead of the ski resort. She confirmed that she had already coordinated with her mom. Realizing the extent of the deception, I questioned if she and her lover had devised this entire sociological theory just to secure my permission for a weekend fling. The audacity of Anna's suggestion left me stunned, although not entirely surprised given my suspicions. Still, her words pierced me deeply. Feigning innocence, Anna asked me to clarify what I was talking about, claiming ignorance of any lover. She reassured me that, despite my misgivings, nothing would change between us after the weekend. She promised to ensure my happiness, admitting her selfishness, but insisting she had her reasons and desired to grow old with me. She believed I would eventually understand and be grateful. My patience was wearing thin. I accused her of not recognizing who I was referring to. I revealed it was John, her new commercial director. I reminded her of their passionate affair in college, which ended when he lost interest, and how she quickly moved on to me without ever mentioning his new role as her boss. I warned her that she was wrong to think nothing would change. Anna asked what I meant by that. I told her everything was already changing her attitude towards me, and our kids was different now. My voice rose with frustration. Anna insisted I was imagining things and professed her continued love for me. She then shifted to a tone of concern, questioning how I would explain our separation to her parents or to Emily and Sophia. Resolutely, I stated that while we weren't getting divorced immediately, I saw through the sociological pretext she and John had fabricated. Anna attempted to simplify things, suggesting we take the girls and figure everything out when we returned. I firmly declared that I was leaving, and my decision to divorce, although unplanned, was now certain. Anna protested, her voice trembling, insisting I couldn't do this to her. I asserted that I could and would. I declared my decision to divorce her. Anna tried to reason, mentioning she was calling off the separation and that we could discuss it further when I got back. I maintained a calm demeanor as Emily shared that she and Sophia had overheard the heated exchange in the kitchen and expressed their support for me. Sophia, echoing her sister S. sentiments, voiced her concern about where we would live. I reassured them, explaining that we would stay at Anna S. house temporarily and that I would take them to school to gather their books and clothes. I encouraged them to set aside their worries and focus on enjoying the vacation they deserved. Back at the house, Anna watched us drive away, her expression a mix of frustration and determination. She immediately called John and, with a sense of urgency, recounted the unexpected turn of events. She revealed that I hadn't believed her story about the temporary separation and was now seriously contemplating divorce. John, understanding the potential fallout, stressed the importance of managing the situation carefully to avoid a scandal that could disrupt their professional lives. He was particularly concerned about Laura and other colleagues finding out. Anna, feeling the weight of the situation, expressed her reluctance to pursue a divorce and questioned John's commitment to their relationship. She sought his advice on the best course of action. John advised her to inform me that the idea of a temporary separation was off the table and suggested giving me time to cool down, emphasizing the need to prevent any further complications. This reassurance gave Anna a small sense of relief, though the tension remained palpable. Determined to create a sense of normalcy, Anna decided to prepare the house. She dressed in her finest attire, hoping to project confidence and control. She went to a local cafe to pick up some gourmet takeout and selected a fine bottle of wine, carefully setting out glasses and a corkscrew to create an inviting atmosphere. She heated the appetizers she had bought and turned on the TV, settling into an armchair, trying to calm her racing thoughts. As Anna sat there, she couldn't help but reflect on her affair with John and the immense risk it posed to her family. She realized that convincing me to stay would be incredibly challenging, especially given how much I might already know about her relationship with John. The decision to reveal that her former classmate had become her boss was a significant misstep, but she knew I would have discovered it eventually. John had reappeared in her life as their commercial director, rekindling an old attraction that led to a brief but intense fling. Despite the casual nature of their affair, John had insisted on discretion, emphasizing the need to protect their respective marriages. As the hours ticked by and I still hadn't returned, Anna's anxiety grew. She knew I should have been back by now. She called her mom, who casually mentioned a disagreement with Grandpa about his drinking, adding to Anna's unease. Her mom also inquired about when she would bring the girls to visit, making it clear that I hadn't arrived yet. This conversation deepened Anna's growing sense of dread about the unfolding situation. Anna continued to ponder the precarious position she found herself in. She realized that her brief affair with John had set off a chain reaction of events that now threatened to unravel her entire life. The task of convincing me to stay seemed more daunting with each passing moment. Her mind raced with potential scenarios and strategies, but nothing seemed sufficient to mend the rift that had formed. The evening stretched on, filled with uncertainty and a looming sense of inevitable confrontation. After the call, Anna reached out to my parents, hoping to find some clarity. My dad, a retired military officer with a no-nonsense attitude, answered the phone. Detecting the urgency in her voice, he cut straight to the point, asking if she was looking for me and the kids. He mentioned that I had already warned them about the unfolding situation. Trying to maintain her composure, Anna claimed she was simply checking in to see how they were doing. My dad was not easily convinced. He informed her that I had called earlier and mentioned we were heading for a divorce. Shocked by the bluntness, Anna insisted it was merely a misunderstanding and not something serious enough to lead to divorce. My dad, however, remained skeptical. He emphasized that the issue wasn't just about our relationship, but also involved a man from her work. He recounted how I had told him about her proposal for a temporary separation and my firm decision to divorce when she attempted to cancel it but wanted to discuss it later. Anna denied this, asserting that I had misunderstood the situation and was still at home waiting for her. Undeterred, my dad stated that I knew about her affair and had no interest in reconciling. He highlighted that I was focused on the well-being of our daughters and hadn't he divulged where I had gone. He then gave Anna some candid advice, urging her to leave if she truly loved another man instead of causing further torment for everyone involved. He believed that I would move on and be better off, given my attributes and the support of our daughters. Anna, her voice breaking, insisted that a divorce was not in the cards. My dad, standing his ground, reiterated that she didn't truly understand me. Anna ended the call, determined to explain everything to me and hopeful that I would realize I was mistaken. Next, Anna called John, but a woman answered instead. Introducing herself, Anna discovered that the woman had kicked John out, calling him a cheater and womanizer. The woman expressed no interest in John S.'s whereabouts, suggesting he might be at Anna S.'s place since he knew her address and had been involved with multiple people at work. Meanwhile, I was driving with my daughters to a ski resort out of town. I had contacted Tom, a former classmate who now managed the resort, and explained our situation in detail. Tom was understanding and accommodating, offering us a cabin for our winter vacation and agreeing not to disclose our presence if anyone called looking for us. We were about an hour and a half away from the resort, driving cautiously on the slippery roads. Tom reassured us that everything would be prepared for our arrival, including setting up the cabin to make it as welcoming as possible. He even mentioned that he would have the table set and some warm food ready for us. As we approached the ski lodge gates, the gatekeeper, already informed by Tom, greeted us and directed us to a sheltered parking lot near the lodge. This marked the beginning of our temporary escape, a much-needed respite from the turmoil and confusion that had enveloped our lives back home. Once parked, we unloaded our luggage and made our way to the cabin. The crisp mountain air and the serene landscape provided a stark contrast to the chaos we had left behind. The girls, initially quiet during the drive, began to show signs of excitement at the prospect of a winter vacation. Inside the cabin, a cozy setup awaited us. The warmth of the fireplace, the neatly set table, and the inviting aroma of the food provided a sense of comfort and normalcy. I reassured the girls once more, telling them that we were here to enjoy our time together and that everything would be fine. They deserved this break, and I intended to make the most of it for their sake. Despite the underlying tension and the unresolved issues, this was our chance to find some peace and clarity away from the pressures and expectations of home. We gathered our belongings and entered the cozy cabin where Tom was waiting at the table. He urged us to hurry, noting that the food was getting cold. I suggested that the girls take a moment to freshen up, wash their hands, and explore a bit before joining us. Emily and Sophia grabbed their things and headed upstairs, quickly changing into their comfortable tracksuits and finding their room to be just right. They were growing up so quickly. Tom noticed Anna S.'s absence and was curious, but I deferred the explanation, proposing a toast to our reunion instead. We clinked our glasses and shared memories, though we were occasionally interrupted by my daughter's eager questions. Sophia eventually inquired about other activities available at the ski lodge. Tom mentioned a dance party happening in the hall, and the girls were excited despite not having packed specific outfits for such an event. He reassured them that there was no formal dress code, and they could attend as they were. He arranged for a staff member to escort them to the party. After the girls left, Tom turned the conversation towards my decision to get a divorce. I explained the situation, recalling how there had been rumors during my relationship with Anna about her seeing someone else. Recently, a man from out of town had become the commercial director at her workplace, leading to an emotional affair. The man's wife, Laura, decided to divorce him and had revealed the affair to me. Anna had suggested a temporary separation under the guise of strengthening our marriage, a concept I found insincere and manipulative. Realizing that our relationship had become untenable, I decided that divorce was the only viable option. Tom asked about my plans moving forward. I mentioned needing to consult with lawyers and that a group was coming the next day to their office downtown. I intended to seek their assistance to navigate the process. That evening, Emily and Sophia returned from the dance around 10:00 p.m., and escorted by a diligent staff member from the ski center. I prepared a late supper for them, and we shared a meal before they headed to their rooms. Alone in my room, the weight of the day's events bore down on me, and I struggled to contain my emotions. Listening to the recording of Anna only reaffirmed that my decision to divorce was the right one. Anna had not waited for me, and she had no clue where we had gone. I remembered promising the girls a trip to the ski lodge, and so we went. I suspected Anna had other plans and had searched extensively on the computer, but found no clues about the lodges I had chosen. The next morning, a knock on the door woke me. My daughters burst into the room, brimming with energy and excitement, eager to start the day with breakfast and skiing. They were also thrilled about the ice rink they had discovered. After a quick wash, we headed to the cafe for breakfast. We then changed into our skiing gear, rented skis, and took the lift up the mountain, enjoying a full morning on the slopes until lunchtime. In the afternoon, after changing out of our gear, we encountered Tom and his wife at the cafe. Tom informed me that the legal team, including a divorce specialist, had arrived. He invited me to his office, where he had prepared everything we might need, including a computer and printer. Grateful for his support and ready to take decisive action, I prepared to meet with the lawyers and take the necessary steps to move forward with the divorce. We entered the cabin, where Tom welcomed us warmly. He suggested taking my daughters, along with his wife and her sister, to the ice rink that evening. He proposed meeting at his place afterward, since the girls were excited about dancing again. He reminded me that New Year's Eve was the following day, and we needed to get ready for the celebrations. After lunch, Tom and I went to his office, where a lawyer soon joined us. She provided a detailed overview of the legal process, which I found enlightening. She cautioned against making hasty decisions about our living arrangements, noting that my daughters would eventually need their own space, especially if Anna remarried in the future. Although I found it difficult to imagine living in the same apartment as Anna, the lawyer suggested proposing a partition and explaining my intention to file for divorce in court. She reassured me that there was no immediate rush due to the holiday weekend and offered to prepare the paperwork on her laptop and print it later. Additionally, she offered to represent me in court, an option I decided to take. We celebrated New Year's Eve with Tom, his wife, her sister, and the legal team in the ski lodge's grand hall. Other vacationers joined, making it a lively night filled with music, dancing, and festivities. Early in the morning, I returned to the cabin with my tired daughters, tucked them in, and then rejoined the group. When the main hall festivities concluded, we gathered around the fireplace in my cabin before eventually retiring for the night. The next few days were filled with skiing, ice skating, and evening dances. One evening, Tom asked how I was holding up. I confessed that despite the fun during the day, I had spent many nights crying. However, I felt more prepared for the future than ever before. As our departure approached, I had an important conversation with my daughters about the necessity of keeping our apartment. We stopped at a mall for groceries before heading home as the sun set. Emily and Sophia immediately started rearranging their rooms, with Sophia moving her belongings into Emily's room. When Anna entered, her voice laced with suspicion, she asked what they were doing. Sophia explained they were turning her room into my room and sharing one. Emily confirmed it was my suggestion. Unsatisfied, Anna watched as the girls completed their room changes and prepared for school. Meanwhile, I began making dinner and breakfast for the next morning. Anna attempted to talk to me, but I firmly stated that I wouldn't tolerate any of her boyfriends in the house. She was free to see them elsewhere, but I made it clear I was filing for divorce. Anna then approached the girls asking if they wanted to talk. They expressed that they hadn't missed her and mentioned that I had told them to stay out of her way for the rest of the week. Hurt, Anna tried to engage further, but I remained resolute. Emily and Sophia stayed separate from Anna, locking the doors to our rooms. I prepared meals for myself and my daughters, ignoring Anna's presence. On Friday evening, a young woman delivered a registered letter to Anna. It was a summons with a statement of claim attached. Reading the letter, Anna rushed into the kitchen, tears streaming down her face, pleading to understand why I wanted a divorce. She insisted she believed we could work things out. However, I stood firm, advising her to consult her lawyer. The reality of the situation struck Anna hard as she began to grasp the finality of my decision. I responded with a cold demeanor, instructing Anna to consult a lawyer. She brought up John's disappearance, hoping it might change my mind. Unmoved, I suggested she reach out to him for guidance. Anna, her voice breaking, claimed she had no one else to turn to. The girls had already eaten and retreated to their room without acknowledging her presence. Desperate, Anna continued to plead, professing her love for me and our daughters, but my determination remained unshaken. The path ahead was clear, and there was no turning back. I snapped, questioning what her professed love had to do with anything. I admitted that I had once loved her, but that was before discovering her affair with John, an old boyfriend she had never mentioned. Realizing it was foolish to continue loving her, I pressed her for details about her so-called weekend plans and how she intended to spend it. Sarcastically, I asked about her sociological theories from John and how their weekend together had been. After finishing dinner and starting to clear the table, the clatter of dishes brought Emily into the kitchen, offering to help. I gently refused, telling her to tidy her room while I handled the dishes and ironed her clothes, which were already dry. Feeling ignored and sensing my unwillingness to engage, Anna retreated to her room in tears. After washing the dishes and turning off the lights, I noticed a pile of laundry waiting to be ironed. Before heading to bed, I made my way to the kitchen and found Anna sitting alone in the dark. Seeing me, she tried to explain herself. She recounted her past with John at university, his sudden disappearance, and their recent reconnection at work. Their professional interactions led to lunch dates that eventually escalated into an emotional affair. She claimed that John insisted their encounters remain discreet to avoid suspicion, and she reluctantly agreed, thinking it was a fleeting fling. This so-called temporary separation was meant to be their first and only date. I accused her of fabricating the story to justify her actions, pointing out that John was merely using her for his own gain. I asked how she could be so naive to fall for his manipulative tactics. Anna defended herself, saying it had been a while since I had complimented her on her appearance, her clothes, or her hair. I rejected her justification outright, stating that my lack of daily compliments didn't excuse her infidelity. I questioned if she was willing to cheat on me with anyone who flattered her. In the following days, I prepared for a crucial meeting with child welfare officials. My lawyer, Tom, emphasized the significant weight their opinion would carry in court, along with the children's views on the matter. I had a lot to manage in a very short amount of time. At night, alone with my thoughts, I struggled to sleep, consumed by feelings of deep betrayal and heartache. Anna's actions had left me with a profound sense of anger and pain. All I wanted now was a divorce, even though it seemed like a daunting task. I had lost all trust in Anna, and our marriage was beyond repair. The children had distanced themselves from their mother, making the situation even more complicated. During one emotional conversation, Anna argued that we should stay married for the children's sake and try to salvage our marriage for their benefit. My response was unwavering. Our marriage was over, and there was no going back. The bond we once shared had been irreparably broken by her betrayal, and I could no longer see a future together. They are mature enough to understand the situation, and I have taken care not to speak ill of you to them. They have drawn their conclusions based on what they overheard about our separation. I am incredibly proud of how perceptive and thoughtful they have been. They quickly grasped the reality of our situation, discussed it amongst themselves, and made their decisions. Their distress was evident when we left, and their insight played a significant role in shaping my plans for the weekend. They are far more aware of the intricacies of the situation than you might think. When Anna asked if the girls hated her, I was struck by the irony, given her background in sociology. I confirmed that they knew about her infidelity and were rightfully angry. I suggested she try to mend her relationship with them, but adolescence is a tumultuous time, making it uncertain how they would respond to her efforts. Leading up to the court appearance, Anna made repeated attempts at reconciliation, filled with emotional pleas. Eventually, we faced each other in the courtroom for a preliminary hearing. We were given a period to attempt to resolve our differences. When this period concluded, I proposed a child custody agreement as part of our divorce, stating that the girls would live with me. Anna staunchly refused to sign any agreement. I informed her that I would take the matter to court, where the judge would consider my case, speak with the girls, and make a ruling. I was confident the decision would not favor her. Anna insisted that court decisions could be appealed, and I sarcastically wished her luck with that. My patience was wearing thin. She admitted to her mistake and pleaded for another chance, professing her love and promising never to see John again. I coldly suggested that she was simply looking for another replacement and reminded her of her sociologist background. I emphasized that if she decided to sign the agreement, it should be notarized to ensure its legal validity. As the court's reconciliation deadline approached, Anna made desperate attempts to reconnect with our daughters, but they remained distant and uninterested. After school, the girls attended their computer science classes and returned home with me. Following a light snack, they settled into doing their homework in my room while I prepared dinner and breakfast for the following day. One day, child welfare authorities visited our home. They spoke with the girls, inspected their room, and compiled a report. We attended the court hearing as scheduled, accompanied by our lawyer. Anna appeared in the courtroom alone, without legal representation, but she had sought advice from counselors and friends, fully understanding that our marriage was beyond repair. During the trial, she answered the court's questions with brief yes or no responses. At the conclusion of the trial, Anna announced that she was relinquishing her share of the apartment to our daughters and provided a deed of gift. The judge noted that she had already removed her personal belongings and that the rest would be cleared out within a week. Anna requested a court recess to sign the child support agreement I had proposed. After the recess, she expressed her willingness to voluntarily pay child support, acknowledging that the court's decision might not mandate it. This gesture, although late, signaled her acceptance of the situation and her responsibility as we prepared to move forward with our lives independently. To ensure complete transparency, I proposed that Anna should establish separate bank accounts for each of our daughters, deposit their child support funds directly into those accounts. This money would be vital for them when they reached adulthood. The judge clarified that issues like alimony and the division of our apartment were not part of the initial claim and thus would not be addressed at this time. Instead, the court would focus solely on child support and the divorce itself. After a brief recess, the court made its decision, officially finalizing our divorce. The girls, who had been excused from the courtroom after their testimonies, were sitting on a bench near a bus stop enjoying ice cream despite the cold weather. Seeing them, I asked why they were outside in such freezing conditions. They explained that they had brought the ice cream home and thought it would be fun to have it in the winter, suggesting that it could even soothe a sore throat. I smiled at their reasoning and asked why they had chosen 19 as the age for accessing their funds. They responded that it was a decision they had reached together. True to her word, Anna moved out of the apartment and went to live with her parents to help care for her ailing mother. I agreed to let her visit the girls once a week, although Emily and Sophia were initially hesitant about these visits. During these weekly visits, Anna spent time with them at our home. Meanwhile, I found myself spending a lot of time alone, reflecting on the changes in our lives. On New Year's Eve, I decided to take my grown daughters to a ski resort, often in the company of John's sister, Madison. Madison and I began to form a deeper connection, but I was in no hurry to make any long-term commitments. My main priority remained my daughters, nurturing them and providing them with guidance. Madison didn't have children of her own, but quickly formed a bond with Emily and Sophia, despite some initial jealousy from the girls. I treated Anna with respect, allowing her to visit our daughters and keeping lines of communication open, though we were no longer a couple or even friends. Emily and Sophia matured without causing any significant issues, surrounded by love and care. Madison's presence added a new dynamic to our family, helping us grow even closer. Anna had a tough year as her parents passed away one after the other. I supported her by helping with the funerals, but this shared grief did not repair our fractured relationship. Anna continued to live independently, with our daughters as her main social support. As time went on, Anna began dating a lonely widower from the neighboring house. John, her former partner, never returned to town, and his whereabouts remained a mystery, even to his ex-wife Laura, who had remarried shortly after their divorce. Despite the upheaval and past turmoil, our lives gradually found a new equilibrium. My daughters thrived, excelling in their studies and personal growth, and I focused on providing them with stability and love. Anna attempted to rebuild her life, finding solace in her new relationship. This experience taught all of us resilience and the critical importance of family, even as our paths diverged. The years that followed were filled with milestones and memories. Emily and Sophia graduated from high school with honors and went on to pursue higher education. Madison became a steady presence in our lives, her relationship with me slowly evolving as we navigated the complexities of blending families. We spent holidays together, traveled, and created new traditions that strengthened our bond. Anna continued her relationship with the widower, and over time they built a quiet, supportive life together. She remained a part of the girls' lives, attending their school events and celebrating their achievements, albeit from a distance. Our interactions remained cordial but distant, shaped by the necessity of co-parenting and the shared history that could never be fully erased. Through it all, I made sure that Emily and Sophia felt loved and supported, teaching them that life's challenges can be overcome with determination and a strong support system. They learned valuable lessons about resilience, forgiveness, and the importance of maintaining integrity no matter the circumstances. Looking back, I realized that while the dissolution of our marriage was painful, it was also a turning point that led to growth and new beginnings for all of us. Emily, Sophia, and I forged ahead, carrying with us the lessons of the past, ready to face the future with hope and strength. Over the next few years, life began to take on a new rhythm. My daughters, Emily and Sophia, thrived academically and socially. They adjusted remarkably well to the changes, showing resilience and maturity beyond their years. As they approached their late teens, they became increasingly independent, focusing on their studies and extracurricular activities. Anna continued to live with the widower she had met, and they formed a quiet life together. She remained involved in the girls' lives, attending their school events and milestones, but our interactions were minimal and formal. The bitterness and resentment of the past had faded into a more distant, resigned acceptance of our separate lives. Madison had become an integral part of our lives. Initially, my relationship with Madison was cautious and tentative, but over time, it evolved into a deep and trusting partnership. Madison was patient and understanding, and she never pushed for more than I was ready to give. Her presence brought a sense of stability and joy to our home, and she bonded well with Emily and Sophia. Our blended family spent many weekends and holidays together, creating new traditions and memories. We went skiing, took beach vacations, and enjoyed quiet evenings at home. Madison's gentle nature and thoughtful approach helped ease any lingering tension, and slowly but surely, the girls warmed to her. Despite some initial jealousy, Emily and Sophia came to see Madison as a supportive and caring figure in their lives. As Emily and Sophia graduated from high school with honors, they began to plan for their futures. Emily decided to pursue a degree in computer science, while Sophia was passionate about environmental science. Their academic achievements were a source of immense pride, and the house was filled with the excitement and anticipation of new beginnings. In the midst of these transitions, I proposed to Madison. Our relationship had grown strong and steady, and I knew she was the partner I wanted to share my life with. The girls were thrilled, and we began to plan a small, intimate wedding. Meanwhile, Anna faced significant challenges. The widower she had been living with passed away unexpectedly, leaving her devastated. Despite our strained history, I offered support, recognizing the impact this loss had on our daughters. Anna struggled with her grief, and it took a toll on her health. She became more reclusive, and her visits with Emily and Sophia became less frequent. Our wedding day was a beautiful, joyful celebration. Surrounded by close friends and family, Madison and I exchanged vows, promising to support and cherish each other. Emily and Sophia stood by our side, beaming with happiness. It was a moment of unity and new beginnings, a testament to the strength and resilience of our family. As time passed, Anna's health continued to decline. She was diagnosed with a serious illness, and the prognosis was not favorable. Emily and Sophia were deeply affected by their mother's condition, and they began to visit her more frequently, offering support and companionship. Despite the pain of the past, Anna and I found a way to communicate openly about our daughter's future, ensuring they would be cared for and supported no matter what happened. Emily and Sophia started their college journeys, each excelling in their respective fields. They adapted well to campus life, making new friends and diving into their studies with enthusiasm. Madison and I visited them often, bringing home cooked meals and words of encouragement. In the final months of her life, Anna expressed a deep regret for the choices she had made and the pain she had caused. She apologized to Emily, Sophia, and me, seeking forgiveness and peace. The girls, mature beyond their years, accepted her apology, understanding the complexity of human emotions and relationships. They forgave their mother, choosing to cherish the positive memories they had shared. When Anna passed away, it was a somber and reflective time for all of us. We honored her memory with a simple, heartfelt ceremony. Emily and Sophia showed remarkable strength, supporting each other through their grief. In the aftermath of Anna's passing, Emily and Sophia returned to their studies, determined to make their mother proud. Madison and I continued to nurture our relationship, providing a stable and loving home for the girls whenever they needed it. As the years went by, Emily and Sophia graduated from college, embarking on successful careers. Emily became a software developer, known for her innovative solutions and dedication to her work. Sophia pursued a career in environmental policy, passionate about making a difference in the world. Madison and I watched with pride as our daughters grew into confident, accomplished young women. Our family, once fractured and uncertain, had become a beacon of resilience and love. We celebrated milestones together, from job promotions to engagements and weddings, each event a testament to the strength and unity we had built. Our lives continued to evolve, filled with love, laughter, and the occasional challenge. Madison and I found joy in the simple moments, from quiet evenings at home to adventurous travels around the world. Our family expanded with the arrival of grandchildren, bringing new light and joy into our lives. Reflecting on our journey, I realized that while our path had been fraught with difficulties, it had also been rich with growth and transformation. Emily, Sophia, Madison, and I had built a life filled with love and resilience, one that honored our past while embracing the future. The legacy of our journey was one of forgiveness, understanding, and the unbreakable bonds of family. No matter the challenges we faced them together, stronger and more united than ever before.